Hey everybody, this is so unexpected, but I wanted to come and share this with you to relieve some frustration and or even disappointment that you may be having. And so I know I just went out in the stratosphere, and people are getting notifications like she's live, she has something to say. And so while people come in, I do want to give a brief introduction for those who may be joining for the first time. I am Delilah Bartlett. I am a leader and coach extraordinaire who aims to help people develop both their clarity and purpose and their potential so that they can have the life and the career that they desire. And I do that in many ways. I have been in my career for over 25 years where I've continued to develop and master some key coaching and mentor kind of capabilities that I have in order to help other folks. It's really an astounding career. You'll have to catch up one day with the story that of my career. I also own and operate a personal development and coaching business where I really help people get a plan together to go after the things that they want and not just thoughts and ideas and motivation. And I do an online ministry. So I come and help and teach people the word of God. So it's life application. It's not just, oh, the word of God and we don't live it. I teach it in a way that's life application. But here's what I wanted to come and share. When you can't hear God, I am literally, I should pan the camera out. I am literally leaving church. This dropped into my spirit as I was here in prayer. And I wanted to come and share it with you because I know sometimes as Christians, we can get frustrated. We try to tap into God and, we want to hear from God. And if we don't hear, we're questioning if we have a relationship with God. And what am I doing wrong that I can't hear? And I want to give you a sense of freedom. I want to free you tonight with what dropped into my spirit just now. And we're going to get into that. There's really two things that I want to share with you today, again, to help free you from that frustration that you hear and you feel. And so we know communication with God, that's prayer. That's what we do. We talk to God back and forth. Here are the two things that God just shared with me in prayer. One, it's just like any conversation. If you're having a conversation with someone and it's difficult to hear, that's the first instance. When you're talking to God and it's difficult to hear, what He gave me was so simple. Just imagine yourself. Imagine yourself at a dinner table with someone you really care about, and you happen to be in an environment where maybe it's loud music and you have difficulty hearing across the table. And so you're having a conversation. This is about relieving the frustration and disappointment that comes sometimes when Christians feel like, I can't hear God. I'm asking God for something and I can't hear Him. So imagine yourself at a crowded, not at a crowded, but at a dinner table, and around you, you're in a setting where there's loud music. It's a good time. It can even be good music, but there's loud music. And the person across from you, right? It's God. The person across from you is saying something and you can't hear. You have three options. You can either lean in, right? You can either lean in so you can hear clearly, right? Because the noise is going on. Sometimes you can't hear God because there's distraction and there's noise going on. And so you have to lean in to be able to hear Him. That means you have to get closer. That means you have to position yourself differently. So in this leaning in, you may be able to hear with your good ear, right? What God is saying. You have three choices. You can either lean in. You can also do choice two, where you can elect to remove yourself from the environment you're in. So moving yourself from the environment you're in, allowing the environment to get softer, to get more quiet so you can hear God. Maybe you're somewhere where you're distracted. And sometimes it's even noise, but it's good noise, but you still need to be able to hear. For instance, you could be somewhere and there could be a ton of worship music. There could be a ton of worship music, but you're having trouble hearing God. Like, it's okay to get up, move, and go somewhere quiet if you want to hear Him. The third thing, this is what really kind of blew my mind. Again, this is thing one of thing two of two things that I'm going to share you that's going to help free you from that frustration of, why can't I hear God? The third thing that you can do in the first instance of, maybe it's loud and you can't hear God, is you can just choose to sit there with God and just be there. You can just be there. If you think about it, and this goes into the second thing that I want to share, when you're in a conversation with someone, what if you're married or you got a good friend, good friend or whatever, and you guys are in a conversation with one another, you're not always talking to each. It's not a constant conversation. It's not a constant. I say something, you say something. I say something, you say something, without any pause. There's sometimes just a pause. There's sometimes just quiet and wanting to be with one another. If you were just to go back to this room where I'm talking about, you're at a table and you got somebody across from you and you're talking and it's kind of, you're listening to music, there's music around you. What if you just said nothing, expected them to say nothing, and you just sat together and you were with one another? Sometimes God just wants to be with you, right? He doesn't want to always be a magician on. Can you imagine? Oh my goodness. Can you imagine being in an environment with somebody and they're just like, well, Delilah, do you have an answer? Delilah, can you tell me? Delilah, what should I do? Delilah, can you do something for me? Delilah, what about this? Delilah, what about this? And just always talking and always expecting me to say something to them. Who wants to be in a relationship with anybody like that? So sometimes God is not saying anything to you because he just simply wants to be with you. He doesn't want to just be on all the time. He wants to relish and be in a relationship with you. That was the third thing. So in an environment where you find yourself, you're frustrated, you can't hear from God, you've tried to lean in, you took the option of moving and being in a different space so you can hear better. Maybe just be quiet and just be with God. Be with God. And that leads to that second thing that I was talking about, where just be with God. Be okay with God. It's not just all the time I want something and I want to tell you something and I want to tell you something. Just be okay with being with God, and I promise you, because I heard this as simple as I can hear myself talking now, that he wants to spend time with you, right? Like in any healthy relationship, he just wants to be, he want to be with you, sit back, listen to the music with you, sit back, people watch with you, sit back, look over at the table and smile at you, right? He doesn't always want to be on with you just pulling and just asking for stuff. He wants to be with you. So I'm really, really grateful that I got that word today in church, that I can come share it with you so you can be free from the frustration of, why am I not hearing from God? You are not hearing from God because God just wants to be with you in that moment. How about it's not all, spooky spiritual? Well, what am I doing? And I blocked it. And what if I gotta do? No. How about he just wants to be with you? How about he just wants to be with you? So make time and make space. Make time and make space in the conversation. Stop talking. Stop trying to listen. That's not just what conversation about. I talk, you listen. I talk, you listen. And then it's not. I can only imagine if me and my husband sat in a space and we occupy every moment with a word. Like, one of us wouldn't make it. Right? Good relationships create space just to be with one another. So that's why I encourage you today. Create space just to be with God. Stop getting frustrated. If you got a question, anything, and you're like, Delilah, but I feel like I really was supposed to hear God in this time, or this is how not hearing God makes me feel. If there's anything that you have a question about and you think that I may be able to give you some insight, I am here. I'm available as always. You guys know I'm always out here. Delilah's downloads at gmail.com. You see me on social media all the time out here trying to change lives and transform people into the next version of their best selves. I'm here to help. And I don't want my fellow brothers and sisters out here, I don't want you out here frustrated with a God who loves you, feeling like he doesn't love you, feeling like he won't talk to you, feeling like you can't hear from him because the devil is a liar. There's nothing more important in the world to him than you. Nothing. Nothing. So sometimes he just wants to sit and talk to you. So give yourself a break. Give him a break. Don't be so frustrated you can't hear him. Get in your word, sit in your favorite place, sit with your dad, kick back and just smile, listen to some music, have a good time. So that's why I wanted to come share. I know it's kind of impromptu. I am indeed live on, I've never gone live on my phone through my streaming services the first time. This is how pulling this was like telling people that sometimes I just want to kick it with them. Sometimes I just want to kick it with them. I don't necessarily want to go back and forth in a conversation. Sometimes I just want to hang out. So I am live on YouTube. I am live on both Facebooks, my personal and Delilah's Downloads page. And so there may be some comments coming up somewhere that I'm not seeing it. Don't, but rest assured, I will be responding to them very shortly. I'm gonna go check once I'm done with this live. But I had to come tell you, your dad really just wants to hang out with you and kick it. It's not that he's not listening. It's not that he doesn't have an answer for you. He just loves you and just wants to spend some time with you sometime. Stop pressuring yourself. All right. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you signed up for, the YouTube channel, youtube.com/ at Delilah Bartlett. Sign up for the newsletter, DelilahBartlett.com. Be on the lookout. A whole bunch of stuff coming. It's just going to change your life and escalate the path that you're already on, expedite the path that you're already on. It's just going to do good stuff. And I'm keep dropping stuff like this because I know we need it. The world wants to tell us kind of what we're not and how we're struggling. And God just wants to tell us how abundant we are and how we live. And I want to come help share that message. But until next time, I'll talk to you later. I got to get home. And that's all. Let's get big. Talk to you soon.